From the historic Met Oval Complex in Queens, Maspeth, New York. Tonight on Facebook Live is the CUNY Athletic Conference Community College Men's Soccer Championship game, featuring the top two seeds, the Queensborough Tigers taking on the Broncos of Bronx Community College. And with that, welcome to our coverage. Alongside longtime Long Island High School boys soccer coach Carrie Gluck, I'm Ralph Midnarchik. For the first time in 2 years, there will be a men's soccer final in the community colleges. It was announced back in June that there would be in the New York metro area community college seasons and championships taking place. So, Carrie, once that happens, these coaches, these players had to get going to work. It's been a long journey just to get to tonight.
Well, it's been a long, hard road for these coaches to be able to come up with a number of players to field a team. Being able to knock out all the woods and find the players and bring them on and get them fit. But most importantly, it was so hard for them initially to get these players to buy in and understand the system and the tactics that these coaches wanted to employ in a very short period of time.
And the Bronx is a new coach. First-year coach Dan Sinelli employing a 3-5-2, just recently losing his center back in that alignment to injury. So that puts even more pressure on their leading scorer, Baba Ann, this evening.
Well, Baba Ann has been their leading scorer and is their leading scorer. 5 goals, 3 assists so far in the season. Now that he's playing the center back position, he still looks to come forward. He is an attacking player. He has Division I potential, according to Coach Sinelli, and he is very dangerous coming out of the back. He, in fact, did score the only 2 goals that the Bronx had in their first meeting when Queensborough won that one in the second half, coming from behind to win 4-2.
That game took place on September 29th. All season long, Queensborough has been scoring goals at a high rate. They have one of the region's top strikers. Their leading scorer is a sophomore, Romaine Forrester.
Now, Romaine Forrester is doing the job for Queensborough. Leading scorer with 10 goals and 3 assists. He attacks and he is aggressive and he goes to the goal. And if you give him space and give him the ball, he is going to find the back of the net. He is very dangerous in the offensive third, and he certainly will pose a challenge to the Bronx defenders in this game tonight.
So nearly 2 years to the day, there will be a CUNY Community College men's soccer final. And it's coming up next on Facebook Live.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
(2021-22) CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Healthfirst. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Healthfirst, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
Great shot of the skyline here as we join you from Maspeth, New York, and the historic Met Oval. Great sight lines here over the years, and a facility that was opened back in 1925. Ralph Midnarchik with Carrie Gluck. Let's give you the starting lineups for our two teams as they are being introduced tonight. For Bronx Community College, 4-4 overall. They'll play out of a 3-5-2 alignment with Barajas
And Diawara outside and being the center back. Owusu, Fadiga, the holding mids. Kevin Mendoza has been the quarterback and the point guard of this offense. A terrific player and a playmaker, with Jordi Leon having a great season up top as the striker, and Elder Rabanales. Playing in front of the keeper, Jafar Hadera. And for the Queensborough Tigers, who will be in the white-on-white uniforms for head coach Aziwo Ayafor in his 5th season, they will switch to a 3-5-2 alignment as well in front of their lone keeper, 6'3" keeper from Queens Village, New York, very close to the Met Oval, Michael Medrano. They've got Chacho as the right back with Rashid Sheriff, and Luis Angel Ovando as the left back. Flores and Pavano be the holding mids. And look out for Junior Guaman, who's had a terrific year. 5 goals, 5 assists as a center attacking mid. Romaine Forrester, we told you about, and Dennis Sumba will be up top in the 3-5-2 alignment for the Queensborough Tigers, who have scored 31 goals through their 9 games played this season. Chilly conditions, and the first time, Carrie, I could say it feels like fall tonight when these two teams met up back on September 29th. Two different types of games. The Bronx, a 2-0 lead before Dan Sinelli felt that his team's fatigue caught up to them. They were also missing 3 starters that day, so the second half radically different for Queensborough as they stormed through and ended up winning the game 4-2.
Well, I think this game is going to be a totally different game. The fact that you mentioned that Bronx missed 3 starting players that are available tonight is a tremendous factor. In addition to that, he only had 2 subs in that game to be able to use, did the Bronx. So fatigue certainly was an issue in going into the second half, and that is when Queensborough scored their 4 goals, trailing 2-0 at the half.
Our coaches, somewhere bundled up, is Aziwo Ayafor of Queensborough. He's an alumnus of this program. Meanwhile, on the far side, there's Dan Sinelli wearing the mask, no hat. About 3 people in. Dan Sinelli just coached 4 years over at New Hyde Park High School. He is a Queens guy attending Holy Cross High School, winning 4 city championships under head coach Paul Gilvari for 3 years. And then his dad, Domenico Sinelli, who eventually ran the Auburnell Soccer Club in Queens. So he is a Queens guy through and through, making the trip up to the Bronx. So he would love to win a game right here at the historic Met Oval, a place that he has come to watch games and play in games at the club level many, many years ago. And the Queensborough head coach, alumnus Aziwo Ayafor. And Aziwo there clapping his hands. Well, he is in his 4th season, 5 years total here, class of 2008. He's also the track coach for the men's and women's indoor programs as well as in the springtime. So he combines all of those things. He came to the U.S. in 2002 to Jamaica High School and ended up matriculating here to Queensborough Community College, where he played soccer and wanted to give back to the program that gave him so much of an opportunity to eventually graduate with a degree from Farmingdale State in mechanical engineering technology, and has been coaching and involved in Queensborough athletics for a good decade. Final huddles for the 2 teams. The Bronx Broncos, they'll be in the yellow on yellow. Queensborough in the white on white. Terrific turf field that was just installed, a top-of-the-line turf field that the Met Oval Academy has the luxury of being able to practice on through all their teams up to U19 level. And great names such as Giuseppe Rossi, who is a coach and a technical director for the MLS Next side with the Met Oval Academy, are here on a daily basis. And this turf field is considered to be a pro standard turf. So terrific conditions, but it is windy and chilly. It does feel like fall. We'll see if that impacts any of the corner kicks and services. When we were down on the field, we were happy to get back inside, Gary.
Well, I think the wind is definitely going to have an impact on this game. Clearly, it will on the services from the corners. I think it also will have an impact on the speed of the game. I think you will see that definitely have a result.
Our center referee doing the honors, Nabil Al-Saidi. Queensborough lost the 2019 CUNY final to BMCC, while the Bronx, it's been a long time since they won a championship back in 2003, and we are underway with Queensborough the white with possession So with Mike Chacho, the right back, number 2. Rashid Sheriff. And they'll space it out to the left back, Luis Angel Ovando. Well, stylistically, both teams very, very reminiscent. It's similar to each other. But Queensborough under Aziwo Ayafor defending first, then attacking as a unit. And it took some time to develop these systems. Queensborough started in a 5-3-2 with guys just not in great shape yet. So they wanted to first fix that and get everybody kind of together from a schematic standpoint, and then try to build off of that. With so many of these rosters not even quite getting completely finalized, Carrie, until mid-September when everybody got their clearances. It's, as we said at the open, truly a journey just to make it to today.
Well, that was the first step, just getting the players and getting the numbers to come out for the team. Was just a long road, hard road for both the coaches. And then once you had the players, then to develop the system that would best fit these players. As a coach, you want your system to fit the ability and the technical skill of the players, not players fitting the system.
And there is a kind of a half volley from Ahmed Awusu of the Bronx, and wide of Michael Medrano.
Medrano is a big scorer on the replay, just going wide. I like Medrano's size. He's 6'3". That is definitely advantageous for any keeper with that kind of size. Only he's given up 28 goals over the games that they've played so far this season, resulting in, well, not that many, just over 3 goals a game.
Medrano, the lone keeper for Queensborough. And you talk about journeys that these players have had to have just to get here. As the team captain, he was one of the final cuts in the fall of 2019 before being persistent with Aziwo Ayafor a year later. After the fall of 2020 was canceled, Medrano stuck with it, so he is in his officially 2.5 years into Queensborough, but a freshman athletically. As Rashid Sheriff, upon the restart, looked to find feet instead. Famara Diawara played it to feet. Then a shot from the outside. Medrano will come up with a good look at it, then making the saves. That's a quality look from Dennis Sumba from the Bronx, as the shot came.
And we'll take a look
Kevin
at
Mendoza.
Mendoza, yeah, right in the middle of the field. Now, this is where I think, Ralph, you're going to see the wind become a factor. He was taking that shot from, I'm close to 35 yards out. With the wind at his back, he's able to get something on him. When that's going into the wind, I don't think you'll see Mendoza take the shot from that far out.
Awusu looked for a cross in service. A goal kick coming for the Queensborough Tigers at 5-4. There was no in-person contact for these coaches and players from March 26, 2020 until August of 2021. For Queensborough, their first meeting as a team was September the 1st, ahead of the season. And Aziwo Ayafor was keeping in contact with players about 2021, but certainly hard to make plans when you don't know when a season would happen, as this is another shot from distance, and that is wide of goal by Ahmed Awusu. And finally they heard in June, and he became persistent and got after everybody to get qualified, get vaccinated, have all their paperwork in line and work schedules in line too. Many of these student athletes also have jobs.
Absolutely, they do. And right now, I mean, you can see that the Bronx is benefiting from having the wind at their back. They've already taken 4 shots on goal, while Queensborough has had some difficulty in getting the ball into their offensive half of the field.
That ball past Awusu. Juan Flores for Queensborough looked to play to feet. And Awusu will play the ball out wide. Mohamed Fadiga, number 7, the freshman holding mid. Jordi Leon, he is from Corona, New York, playing for the Bronx, native of Queens, Leon, and he is dispossessed by Kevin Velez. A cross comes in top of the box. Trying to chest it down was Kevin Mendoza.
Now, that was a nice service into the box. Create a little bit of problems. The wind created some problems. Mendoza, I think, is begging for a clear foul.
And indeed, the PK was granted. So stepping up here in the 6th minute is Baba Ann of the Bronx. 1 for 1 on penalties this year, the center back from Pathways High School in the Bronx against Michael Medrano in the CUNY final. And approaches Medrano, the save. And the rebound volleyed over the top. Great chances, including it was Mendoza who had a chance for a tap-in.
That was an excellent chance. But Medrano guessed right. But you know what, Ralph? Baba Ann scored a PK in the first game. I think Medrano knew which way he was going to go. Give him the credit to think back to that last PK that Baba Ann took. He guessed correctly. And again, you saw the opportunity presented to the follow-up by Mendoza, and who put it over the crossbar.
Another dangerous ball, and again, this is the strike from Kevin Mendoza. Already 6 shots for the Bronx, 7 minutes in. A goal this year for Mendoza, played at the Charter High School for Law and Social Justice, but he came up through the Manhattan Soccer Club, one of the better soccer clubs in the 5 boroughs, and one of his club coaches told Dan Sinelli about him and how gifted and talented he was. He's left an early imprint on this CUNY final. And again, the high pressure by the Bronx. Queensborough's only had the ball up across midfield perhaps once for a few seconds.
Absolutely, and again, the impact of the wind, and I think the high pressure is very smart to be employed right now by the Bronx, prohibiting Queensborough to maintain the possession and get it over into the offensive half of the field. Foul against the Bronx.
There's a late challenge from Famara Diawara. So the Tigers will have a chance to exhale here and get some numbers forward. 8th minute. The Bronx has had a penalty stopped. Rashid Sheriff, a converted center back from Brooklyn. As Sheriff decides to play it short. Chance for Jordi Leon. As Mendoza is step 2. Room out wide for the Bronx. And Yosoi Sanchez, rather, as he looked for service, looked inside for Elder Rabinales. A deep throw for the Bronx Broncos. Rabinales steal it back for Sanchez out of Bronx early college prep. And a chance to check back for the Tigers and look for a nice switch. Nice ball. Here comes Michael Chimbolema out of Flushing Pan American International High School.
With the high pressure being exerted by the Bronx in the game so far, they're leaving them susceptible to a quick counter. If Queensborough can get the possession, change the point of attack, and attack from the weak side with, I think they can have an opportunity to get in behind the defensive backs of the Bronx.
Ovando went up for the challenge. Sheriff. And had nowhere to go with it. Queensborough, from a roster perspective, as Aziwo Ayafor really had to get on the phone. They had their first tryout September 1st, only had 11 players show up. Their first game against Westchester had just 12 and started incrementally adding numbers to that. And here is a volley over the top by the Broncos and Alexis Molina. And eventually they got up to consistently having about 16 players, but they never had more than 16 at practice due to guys getting hurt or other conflicts. And they just took it one game at a time, adding players and clearance. Normally, August 1st, you start practice for tryouts for non-recruited players. You cut it down and you go from there.
Well, there wasn't much cutting down. I'll say that, Ralph. At that point, you had to take what you got.
And then from Dan Sinelli's perspective, he sent out an email blast at the end of July to the entire student body of Bronx Community College. He got a lot of interest from it, and there were a lot of interested players, but eventually when their schedules got released, the practice schedule, he was able to get, to his pleasant surprise, a lot of talented players that came out, so he was able to put together a nice roster of potential. And they spent the first 2 weeks, as this is another shot coming, that's Jordi Leon. But a couple of weeks of August just looking at guys trying out, and they got lucky with the level of talent.
There you see Jordi Leon. He has 3 goals on the season with an assist. Plays that flank position, but also up top, and he's playing up at the forward position today. They like the fact that he checks into the midfield and is able to help get the ball from that center third of the field. There's a little overlapping run on the flank.
Leon, and he's dispossessed. That's Juan Flores with the breakup. And chance for Queensborough, Junior Guaman. How will he factor in today's match? Instead, Ann on the takeover. And to the feet of Mohamed Fadiga. A nice ball through the middle, served, and he nearly was on the same page with Elder Rabanales.
And I like the way Medrano, off his line, getting aggressive, knowing with the wind at the back, is able to pick up those through balls. And here you'll see him come right into your picture, right almost at the top of the 18.
Yep.
Intercepting any of those through balls that are going to be played into the box.
Offside flag was up. Leon. And Leon looks for an immediate service. And again, any service tonight, Carrie, looks like it is going to be tricky for any player. I don't know if this is a match where you may say to yourself, or players say to themselves, you know what, let's keep the ball on the ground a little bit more maybe than usual due to the wind.
Well, absolutely. If you're Queensborough, you've got to consider playing the ball at your feet much more. The other side, I think, the Bronx is doing a nice job. I don't think that they're really executing the services well in terms of the placement of those services with the wind at their back. They can make them, I think, much more dangerous.
There's Rabanales to check back. Kevin Mendoza. Rabanales at a New Rochelle in Westchester. And Rabanales is fouled. So here comes the first quality restart. And the Broncos, they've already had a penalty. They have all 7 shots, just 2 of them on goal, however. And now they'll have a pretty good area for a restart just off the sideline.
Now the foul by Chimbalima really puts Queensborough into a somewhat difficult situation with that restart, that dead ball inside the 18. Now, whether or not he's going to bend this with his right foot and play it in dangerous, or look to play it to the back post, and there is the ball to the back post.
That's Baba Ann with the strike, and a wasted opportunity from the Broncos.
Yeah, that's got to be, again, a much more dangerous ball. Knowing with the wind that you have to take something off of that service to make it a dangerous ball.
The Tigers with John Pavana.
And I think that also the Bronx defensively are playing very smart. Not only are they exerting high pressure, but they're very compact. You notice how there's very little space between the defenders, the midfielders, and the front runners. They are compact as a team.
After Mendoza had slipped, and the foul coming against the Bronx. Quick restart played forward.
Good idea by Queensborough, hoping to catch the Bronx not getting back with that quick restart.
So a deep throw coming from the Broncos. even to this day, Dan Cinelli lamenting we haven't had our full team together. They're without the services of a very good player. Starting center back Edgar Aguilar went down with a concussion after their Orange Community College game. And he thought they battled the number 2 team in the region pretty well. That's Monroe. It was a 3-0 loss. But they lost their starting goalie and Jafar Hedera during that game, late in the game. So they scored 2 goals against the Bronx backup keeper. They had chances to potentially tie up that game at 1. Otherwise, the Broncos would be in a position where they could be a top 2 or 3 seed for the upcoming Region 15 tournament, which is basically the community college region and kind of the New York State it kind of goes from Long Island to kind of downstate New York. Right now the number 1 seed is Nassau Community College. Monroe and Westchester is the 2. Suffolk is the 3. These 2 teams factor into the 4, 5, and 6 spots. And that tournament, which is going to be coming up this Saturday, the quarterfinals, 3, 6, and 4, 5, that should be announced in the next day or so. As here's a nice ball switched over for Leon. And Jordi Leon. Leon looked for Mendoza, and 1 touch before he's eventually dispossessed, only momentarily. Amada Wosu. And then the hard challenge from Ovando. Ovando, though, released it too quickly, and Baba Ann the takeover.
On that last sequence, Ralph, I would have liked to have seen Leon look to take on that defender 1v1 and get into a more dangerous situation.
And then here on the move, Queensborough off a turnover, and Romaine Forrester with his first chance. And he was looking to be aggressive. The shot wide to the near post.
Well, we said he is aggressive. He's got good speed, and you get him into the final third with space and the ball, and he is dangerous. And that is the first shot that Queensborough has taken to this point in the match, and we're in about almost 20 minutes, not quite. There you see it again on the replay. Takes that right-footed shot. Hopefully, I would have thought he might want to bring it across the box and see if he can get a back post run.
Sheriff playing to the feet of Chacho. And then Michael Chimbolema, who was shaken up at the end of that play. Native of Flushing. Very little ball possession time from Junior Guaman of Queensborough, their center attacking mid.
Well, very little possession for Queensborough, irrespective of the player. They have not had a lot of the ball.
Forrester able to check back, and now the Tigers with the build-up before the breakup play from Fadiga. And then this ball chipped, and the first touch from Jafar Hedera, a freshman from Senegal. He's missed the last 2 games with a finger injury against Westchester and Nassau, but they love his athleticism. Someone that could play in the field if they needed him to.
Well, that was a dangerous ball, I thought, by Queensborough. They first opportunity to get them into that offensive third, and they created a dangerous chance, forcing Hedera to come off his line and make a save, and it was almost a little miscommunication between the defender and Hedera.
Robin Alice. That was a nice ball from Jordi Leon. And the contact with Mike Chacho to break it up. So a great start for the Bronx Broncos. A 7th-minute penalty that was stopped. Baba Ann was the shooter. They have had terrific possession, perhaps using the wind at their backs to aid that. But they have 7 shots. They've been over the ball consistently. Ahmed Owusu, as it was played up the line in Queensborough, looking to win back possession. And the Tigers with a nice switch. They'll get the freshman from East Elmhurst, Mike Chacho, the right back, before it's turned over. Kevin Mendoza. And Sheriff, Rashid Sheriff, able to dispossess him.
That was good defense by Sheriff. He tracked well, stayed with Mendoza, and was able to create the turnover initially before losing it out of bounds.
Molina service. Looking wide for Leon. Leon able to play it across. And the offside flag is up.
Wow, that was a good change of possession, a good change of the point of attack. by the Bronx to get it to the weak side. And unfortunate for the Bronx, they were offsides. But here's a nice finish, goes to the side netting, has Medrano beat, as you see, but the offsides flag was up.
For Dancinelli and the Bronx Broncos, his area of improvement has been their shots on goal. They've been doing very well in terms of the volume of shots. That was a huge focus to increase their opportunities. There's Coach Cinelli over on the right-hand side. But, of course, every coach you ask would love to increase their efficiency, but you like to see their shots on goal be a little bit more productive in terms of testing the goalies. And then they are so attacking-minded, at times they get caught in terms of their organization defensively. The Bronx this year, they've allowed 28 goals. Then you factor in when you're missing your starting center back, Edgar Aguilar, and the shifting of the lineup that it took to figure it out. That's the other area. But their defense has just not been tested at all yet.
Not yet, but again, a couple of the points that you've just made. The fact that they are getting a lot of these shots, and they're pretty good quality shots, they're not putting them on frame. And that was one of the concerns about Coach Cinelli. And then the other concern is once they get themselves attacking, they lose sight of the defensive organization and leave themselves susceptible to the quick counterattack, as you may be seeing here.
As Forster took it away, and then the shot coming from Dennis Sumba. That's wide of target, so he had a 2-on-2 going. Sumba also from Flushing, day one of tryout, played with super confidence, and he was normally the holding mid, but he has moved further up top in the Tigers 3-5-2 tonight. It'll be a deep throw for the Broncos.
Queensborough has given away a ton of throw-ins in their offense, in their defensive third of the field. They cannot continue to do that. I think it's going to come back to haunt them if they continue to play the ball out of bounds, intentionally or unintentionally, in their defensive third.
There's a hard challenge and the foul against the Bronx. Famara Diawara. And Diawara with the sliding challenge.
Now, it's clearly a foul, and I think it's a good call by the official. And I think all that Diawara is hoping for is not to get a card. I think that's what he was hoping not to get.
So Queensborough with freshman Kevin Velez. Romanales, nice job bringing the ball down. Owusu looked to go wide for Leon. Ovando. Queensborough has not been able to build out of the back to their liking after that second or third pass. Chacho continued his run. Leon. And Leon, fine switch. Alexis Molina. And Molina looked for the overlapping run with Elder Rabinales. The Broncos just seem like they're on the same page in this first half.
Well, I think the fact that they've gained some confidence at this point, Ralph, because they have maintained the possession in their offensive half, offensive third for the last 25 minutes or 24 minutes. So I think they're gaining confidence, and they're playing with that confidence to attack.
Dancinelli of the Bronx, another aspect when you think about all these players and the coaching staffs have been through since June just to make tonight possible. He said out of all the teams he has coached, and Dancinelli, this is a takeaway, Leon. Medrano sloppy on the catch. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Bronx Broncos. So Medrano with the slide did not secure the ball.
And I thought that Molina might go to the goal. I was surprised that he turned his back to the goal at that point, knowing that Medrano was out of the goal. Now he'll take the corner kick from this side of the field. He is a lefty, so he'll take it with the in-swinger, but he plays it high, way to the top of the 18, taking most all of his attacking players out of the play.
Forrester, 20 in white, trying to secure it. Taken over by Mohamed Fadiga. And dealt back to Ann. Robin Alice played away from him by Sheriff. And anything high up in the air, we can see that the wind is going to play some tricks with it. With some otherwise gorgeous sightlines here at the Met Oval. If you've never been here, it's tucked into a residential block in Maspeth, Queens. A block away is the town of Ridgewood. And this historic facility that has been open since 1925. And went down the middle. And Sheriff under some danger. Able to bicycle and send that to midfield. And with it again. This facility originally built in 1925 by immigrants from Germany and German-Hungarian immigrants eventually to be a European-style soccer field with the facilities. The building that we're in has been also around since 1925. And just some great teams have come through here. Many U.S. national team players from New York in the 60s and 70s played here. This was kind of the hub of youth soccer in the New York metro area for a very long time before the club soccer explosion occurred, probably somewhere in the mid-'80s. Players such as Werner Roth, who ended up being a captain of the early New York Cosmos great teams, probably the first name-brand soccer club in America, played the majority of his youth soccer right here at this facility.
Werner Roth playing with the likes of Pele when that was part of the early Cosmos. But I think you also have to give credit to the Met Oval Foundation, which was founded by Jim Vogt, along with Chuck and Valerie Jacob, that raised enough money to be able to restore this field and save it for the youth in Queens and in the metropolitan area.
Yeah, this facility was eventually able to get the designation of landmark status. And here we are eventually having a turf field installed, and then in 2018 this world-class turf that is considered to be the highest grade turf possible through a donation of Nike Soccer and also the Met Oval Board of Directors. And they have people such as Giuseppe Rossi, that's probably a household name to soccer folks. Giuseppe Rossi, who played for Team Italy, and he is actually a native of New Jersey. He is now back in the New York area coaching the MLS Next U19 Met Oval Academy team. And just some great names that are still involved with the Met Oval team.
Now, there's a rich tradition of soccer attached to the Met Oval without any question.
Back in the 1990s, it looked like this field was going to be in some real trouble before people, as you mentioned, Jim Vogt, a longtime Queens native, helped raise the money and restore this field and eventually add lights and to help make nights like today's, like this one, possible.
And there you have that magnificent view of the skyline that you were alluding to just a few moments ago, Ralph.
Queensborough's held to just 2 shots. They've been able to level off the possession, though after the first 15 minutes, it was stuck in their own defensive third. The Bronx with the game's first 7 shots, including a saved PK by Tiger goalkeeper Michael Medrano. Junior Guaman chips the next ball looking for Forrester, and Forrester carry has not gotten service into space at all. The leading scorer for the Tigers, 10 goals, 3 assists. And his specialty has been this year to get into the open field. That has not been there.
Well, the possession hasn't been with Queensborough, and they have not been able to find him as a result. And I think that is part and partially due to the defense of the Bronx, and I give them credit for minimizing the ability for Romain Forrester to get his touches on the ball and to get himself into space.
And good ball into the 18. Leon, the head ball. Mendoza looked for the volley. Taken off of his feet. Sanchez. Another good ball inside for Mendoza, and eventually Michael Medrano securing.
Coming off well, taking that under pressure and having some physical contact, but clearly not a foul, as it was well done. As you'll see the service once again from the side. Here comes Medrano coming up, and again, though he runs into a little bit of contact, no foul, and I think that was an excellent no call by the official.
And plays a nice ball that Robin Alice almost got onto the end of. No score in this CUNY Community College final. First game in the CUNY Community College Championship in nearly 2 years to the date. And it appears likely that both teams will advance to the Region 15 tournament. A 6-team tournament that will start on Saturday with a pair of quarterfinals. We already know that Nassau Community College and Monroe will be the top 2 seeds and having byes. But great significance that the fall sport's able to take place. Next week on Facebook Live will the CUNY Community College Women's Volleyball Championship. Good ball. Here's Dennis Sumba. Sumba has Forrester making the run, and then he's well defended by Baba Ann, who would not let him go backdoor on the diagonal run.
Now, that was a nice ball played into the box, and give credit to Hidara coming off his line and really taking Forrester out of the play by cutting off that angle.
Pavano with a nice break up for Queensborough. Ahmed Owosu, good composure on the ball. And Owosu then, John Pavano, another break up, and here comes Juan Flores. Owosu, another ball win in the middle of the field. The return for Ahmed Owosu.
Now that was a nice ball that was played in behind for Owusu to try and to see if he could run onto.
Ahmed Owosu came up out of the Frederick Douglass Academy in the Bronx. An excellent student with a 3.4 GPA that will have a future at a 4-year school. As this ball almost surprising Medrano on the kind of low volley from Ahmed Owosu.
I think it did, in fact, surprise Medrano. I don't think he was expecting it initially to be taken that dangerously, but watch the ball. Now, it appears that it might have been a little bit of a deflection there from our perspective, Ralph. And that is the case because it is a corner kick.
Second corner and a chance for Chimbolema. Chacho taken off the ball, Mendoza. Kevin Mendoza with a strong opening half here.
I like the way Mendoza plays, Ralph. He plays very simple, and I think that really creates a lot of opportunities.
Sumba, across it went for Forrester, who missed on the touch.
Wow.
That's the guy that Queensborough wants to have in front of goal. A terrific drive from Dennis Sumba, and Romain Forrester, if it's on target, it's a goal.
And that was a great service across. And I think Sumba would love to have that back. He's not going to get many opportunities as easy as that with the defender out of the play. And I think he probably just took his eye off the ball the last minute, and that is what created the difficulty for him.
Forrester looks to power through again. And he's able to win possession against Diawara. Deep throw coming for the Queensborough Tigers. Romain Forrester, 10 goals, 3 assists. He's a native of Springfield Gardens, went to high school up in Lakeland, New York, in Westchester County. As this ball pops up, and look at the range shown by Javar Hedera. Just at the top of his 18, able to gather.
And he took it off the initial bounce or the initial service. He was not able to hold on to, but recovered well enough to take it on off the second bounce.
Sanchez. Offside flag against Yosoi Sanchez, with Ahmed Owusu looking to play a 1-2 to him.
Just a little too anxious was Sanchez. The freshman plays very big, though he's not that tall of a player himself, but he plays much larger, and he has developed into a nice flank player.
And Queensborough commits the foul. Ovando just bumping Jordi Leon. And here comes another nice area for a restart for the Broncos.
Absolutely, Ralph. You don't want to give away dead ball restarts in this part of the field. They are so dangerous.
And it will be Baba N to take this one too. The last one, remember, Carey, he wasted across the face of goal. 2 on the wall for Queensborough.
With the right foot, it should be a little bit more of an outswing.
In the 36th minute, and no one running across. And the Tigers get a partial clearance. As Kevin Velez looks to move it forward. Leon. As Leon looked across for Rabinales.
I thought Leon had a nice opportunity to play the overlapping run to maintain the possession on this far side of the field. He had no one off that back door and in the back post run to be able to clean up that service.
BMCC has won the most championships. They are not, of course, in the CUNY final this year, but right behind them, Queensborough, 8-time CUNY champions, 10-time finalists. This is their 8th straight community college final, as the Bronx will go and make the game's first substitution. Here is Akeem Millwood to replace Elder Rabinales. Up top is the other striker with Jordi Leon. Millwood out of the city and Park East High School. And this is a shot from distance, well off frame. The Bronx has won 6 titles, but the last one coming in 2003. And their first finals appearance since 2013. It's been predominantly over the last decade plus BMCC versus Queens. And the Bronx trying to change that as they gather possession on Owusu. Leon checking back. And then Leon lost the touch.
Now there's the space to attack off that right flank, but they're taking too long to find that space. They have the possession. They've got to get that flank run deeper in to be able to be more effective. So now it's very congested over there. They should be looking to make a switch to the backside. And there is the weak side serve.
Juan Flores out of Newburgh, New York, in Westchester. Now some room to attack for John Pavana. Nice layoff inside. Sumba. And now the shot coming. This one deflects through. And the easy stop from Hedera. Newburgh, New York, by the way, in Orange County, a little bit further west. Newburgh Free Academy is where Juan Flores came through. And the versatility of these Queensborough players that they've had to have. Shifting systems. You have to add players in season. And now here on a loose ball, Flores And the foul committed. So it'll be a restart at midfield for the Broncos. So Baba Ann again. And Ann just has it one hop over to Medrano.
And Medrano had a clear vision on that. It was great camera work to be able to be behind Medrano to see how Medrano has his vision on the ball and attacks the ball, and clearly had no yellow jersey in front of him to create some distraction.
Forrester. And taking off possession, the freshman left back, Johan Barajas. Possession again. This is Chacho, the right back, as he was able to come well up the field. And this time a foul against Queensborough.
I think Romaine Forrester is getting a little frustrated in the offensive third that the midfielders are not finding him in dangerous situation.
He had the game's, we could say, second best scoring opportunity. The first one comes in the 7th minute from the Bronx via a missed penalty. Michael Medrano making the save on Baba Ann of the Bronx. Mendoza. Owusu. And again, an easy volley handled from Medrano.
Owusu, number 19, taking the shot for the Broncos.
And we'll get a stoppage from Nabil Al-Saidi, our official, as this is Rashid Sheriff shaken up.
Yeah, he took the last shot taken by Queensborough right into the midsection. And so I think he bore the brunt of that shot, trying to get his breath back after he took that squarely in the midsection.
The Tigers had played a back four for a bunch of the season. As I said, the first couple games were a 5-3-2. So after the foul, the ball courtesied back over to the Bronx by Queensborough. Seeing 4-4-2, 4-3-3. They've played around a lot, said Coach Aziwa Ayafor, to try to find the right mix. He's come out in a 3-5-2 tonight. Rare that you'll see both teams play 3-5-2 in the same match at the college level. Forrester. And Forrester trying to hold it up, and Mohamed Fadiga took it away. Leon wide. Yosoi Sanchez. And his chip knocked away. Here's Kevin Velez over possession. Velez, now Sumba. Plays it across top of the box. He was looking for Forrester. Swept away there.
And Forrester got a little bit in too deep for that service across the box, Ralph. He had nowhere to run onto the ball. In fact, he was parallel or square to the ball and had to come back to be able to get a touch on the ball.
The match started in the first 16 minutes, 7 shots from the Bronx. Queensborough certainly been able to level it, and can they get themselves further settled into the game when we go to the second half and the teams switch sides, and maybe having the wind at their back. As Velez tried to play to feet. Ovando the head ball. Luis Angel Ovando out of South Richmond Hill.
Ovando too content with playing that out of bounds. He had time to be able to take it down. He could perhaps have used Medrano. He has other options rather than give away the throw-in.
Kevin Mendoza, edge of the 18. Owusu, shot blocked. That's John Pavana, who came over there, and Pavana now pushing transition. And pops a nice ball out wide to some space for Dennis Sumba. Top of the box, Forrester. Then the touch comes, and the shot could easily be handled by Javar Hedera. Came right back to Sumba. And that could have been a chance for an easy volley. And that is it for the first half. Queensborough and the Bronx, with the Broncos getting the strong start. The Tigers able to level things as we run on, but we have no score in this CUNY Community College final. Shots 11-4, Bronx Broncos at the break, seeking the program's first title since 2003. We'll come back with a look at highlights and statistics and some special guests here from the Met Oval in Maspeth, Queens on Facebook Live.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
The 2021-22 CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Healthfirst. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Healthfirst, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
Zach Ivkovich here with Ozzie Iafor, head coach of Queensborough Tigers. Ozzie, you must feel fortunate after that penalty kick. So a great save by your keeper, but then also misfortune at the end where Forrester missed a sitter at the back post. Tell me about how you feel about the first half thus far.
I mean, so far, everything that happens is what you pretty much expect about the game. So, I mean, we can't dwell on what already happened. We can't change that. We just have to make whatever changes are necessary to move up with the play and, possibly win the game.
Last time you were down 2-0 at halftime and came back 4-2. So you must feel good about going to the second half. This time at 0-0. Seems like you feel more comfortable playing, in the second half and coming back stronger.
Yes, I do. I feel pretty comfortable, especially with the guys. I mean, they've been working out all season. They've been in worse positions before, and they came back better. So I feel confident that we still have, something back.
All right. Good luck in the second half. Good. Thank you, Ozzie. Back to you.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
The 2021-22 CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Healthfirst. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Healthfirst, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
No scores. We welcome you back to Maspeth, Queens, site of the CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship match from the historic Met Oval. Ralph Bignorchik on hand. Now welcoming in one of two presidents that we'll chat with here at the half from both schools, and Dr. Thomas Sekenegbe, now in his sixth year as the president of Bronx Community College. Dr. Sekenegbe, thank you for being here. You became the first president from the continent of Africa. You were born and raised in Nigeria to be a CUNY president. Describe over your 6 years how athletics, what you've learned, the impact athletics is in the community college system, and what makes what we're seeing in front of us vital and important.
You know what? Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm so glad to be here. In fact, if you look at the total college experience, it's engaging the students to become part of the campus. And what a better way to do it than to have our student athletes. Look at the young men here tonight competing for the honors to be the champion of CUNY. And on our campus, what I would try to do is to encourage the students to become involved, because the research even shows you that students that are student athletes, they do well more in their classes. They graduate at a higher percentage rate than ordinary students. So it's the whole of the engagement thing here. I think it's very important, and I think I'm grateful that we're able to provide these opportunities for our students to participate.
The accountability of having a coach above these student athletes and guiding them through. Now, you're from Nigeria, so soccer, I'm sure, is near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely.
So there are several players here that were born in the continent of Africa on both sides, such as Famara Diawara from Guinea, of the Bronx. There are many on both sides. Describe perhaps the challenges, especially these student athletes, and what is in the Bronx and the CUNY Community College system when you have an international student and you maybe go to high school for a year in college, you arrive here, and then you find yourselves trying to make it into a four-year school. What is that support system like?
You know what? I came in here as a student way back. I won't tell you how long, that you know how old I am, but I tell you what, just coming in as a student alone, not being born in this country, it's a challenge in itself. But I got to tell you, the resilience of our students is so, I admire them for that. They come in here, they have all of their heart into it. They see the college as a key to social mobility. They grab all of the things that we expose them to. And again, this is what you see here tonight on the field here. And for some of the students here, again, aside from being on campus, this is a way to release stress for them, because they work, they take care of their family. So kicking the ball around, which they love to do, sort of relieves the stress for them on a daily basis. And I think the most important thing, again, is the friendship. Remember, education is about meeting people and network. The people on the team becomes their support system. The coaches, as you mentioned earlier on, become part of their support system, which I think most of the students are grateful for, really.
And I think everybody here is grateful that once it was decided in June, community college athletics would take place too. There was a question. You and of course, and the rest of the presidents voted on it. We are here. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being here and allowing this night to be possible.
I want to say thank you for having me here tonight. I mean, we have a great game. It's 0-0. I know Christine would disagree with me, but I think Bronx is going to win.
We'll hold you to that. Dr. Thomas Sekenegbe, president in his sixth year at Bronx Community College. We thank you. We'll come back with Dr. Christine Mangino, the president of Queensborough Community College, when we continue on Facebook Live tonight in a scoreless halftime score of the Men's Soccer Championship in the CUNY Community Colleges.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
here with Dan Cinelli. Dan, first-year head coach of Bronx Community College, who used to play on this field when he was a youngster. Now he's leading the Broncos. Dan, you must feel good about the first half, given all the opportunities that you created, but at the same time, you missed quite a bit of them, especially the penalty and the follow-up.
A little frustrating. Obviously, we've been having possession of the ball. We've been pressuring them very hard. We've had quite a few opportunities. It's just going to come down to us putting one in the back of the net in the second.
First potential championships in 2003. I know you haven't been around, but the guys excited for a second half and a chance to do something really strong and positive this year?
Yeah, there's a lot of high energy. You know, we spoke about it before we got here today. You know, we were looking up at that banner in our school gymnasium, and it says 2013, and we were talking about putting the first one there since that time. I think it's been 18 years, so we'd like to add to that banner and leave our legacy on the school.
Anything specific you have to do better in the second half?
Finish the ball. Finish the ball. That's it. We put a couple of shots on net, one in the back of the net. I think our defensive play will get us to the end of this game.
All right. Good luck in the second half. Thank you, Dan. Back to you, Ralph.
The official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. HSS congratulates everyone on a great season and wishes all the competitors good luck in tonight's championship match.
Hometown ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
2021-22 CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Health First. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Health First, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
Back on Facebook Live for the CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship as we start the second half. The Bronx and Queensborough, the top two seeds, are scoreless. Ralph Bednarczyk back with you to go through our first half highlights. For the Bronx, perhaps using the wind at their backs, strong first 15 minutes. As we look at some of the highlights, finally Queensborough were able to level the game off. There's a ball intended for their leading scorer, Romain Forrester. And then Michael Medrano, a brief bobble there, and eventually he'd be able to recover with Jordi Leon in position. Medrano was quite busy either handling a bunch of through balls in goal for Queensborough. Then eventually the best chance perhaps coming for the Broncos, Dennis Sumba across, and Romain Forrester just needed to tap in. The leading scorer in the region could not get it on frame. And another ball that was sent into the area, eventually handled by Javar Hadera. And in the 7th minute, there was a penalty kick saved by Michael Medrano to represent Bronx's best chance. Shots 11-4 at the break, including 5 of the 11. Much of them were off target in the early going with a couple of corners. The Broncos' first 15 minutes looked like they could potentially put a couple of goals in. Instead, they were held scoreless, and we begin the second half. Also with a special guest, the president of Queensborough Community College, Dr. Christine Mangino, joins me up here. Dr. Mangino, thank you for being here, and thank you for helping these athletes with all the work that had to go on behind the scenes. I think going back into the spring before it was eventually finalized in June to make community college sports in the fall possible to help tonight be available.
No, and it's so exciting to actually see the players back on the field. It's been a while, and we're thrilled to be here again, and the players have been fabulous.
Now, you came through Nassau Community College, so you individually, personally growing up, the community college experience, you grew up in it and be able to communicate better than most college presidents at the community college level. Describe what your couple of years or 2.5 years at Nassau was like, and maybe how that shaped you and how that shapes you today from a leadership perspective.
Sure. So like many of our students at QCC and at CUNY in general, I was the first in my family to attend college, so it was figuring out how to navigate that all on your own and not knowing that you need to reach out to advisors and there are people there to help you. So it was really struggling through it on my own. But it was also in the walls, in the seats at Nassau Community College, where I realized that I was a good student and I liked to learn, and that this is what I wanted to do with my life.
And then eventually the commuting aspect, which all community college students, or most of them, experience. You went to Hofstra, you went to St. John's, so you had that experience of balancing school, a job, a personal life, and family. As here is a shot and an easy save for Michael Medrano. How about that as you make decisions, particularly in this time of, at least in our recovery of a pandemic and remote learning, how about all those experiences you had are now perhaps coming into the fold as you make all these difficult calls?
Yeah, understanding that life outside is what gets into our students' way a lot of times in their success, and how do we make it easy for them? How do we get information into their hands at the moment that they need it because they don't know to ask for it? And how do we, teach them what it's like to be a successful college student, and how to use the supports at the college, and all of that in order to be resilient and move on to a senior college.
And there was a question about athletics, and not just athletics, but clubs, student activities. What is the value, as we watch, of course, athletics tonight? What have you seen over your years that this provides?
Belonging, right? Because they're a commuter school, they don't make friends easily, especially if a faculty member is, lecturing in a classroom and they don't have an opportunity to get to know their classmates and stuff. That in order to be retained and be successful, you have to feel like you belong there so that you keep coming back. And sports is an amazing way to do that, and our athletes are, highly successful students and go on to senior colleges. But the clubs do the same thing. It helps them make friends and feel like this is the place for them, and that's our goal for all of our students.
Romaine Forrester got a nice through ball for Queensborough, and an early second-half scoring chance for the Tigers. Save was made by Jafar Hadera of the Bronx, and it is Forrester that was shaken up with a knee injury. One more, Dr. Mangino. Moving forward, all these student athletes have had so much on their plate. Just describe what the next, let's say, time period into the spring semester will look like at Queensborough in the community college system to take what is happening and just maybe take it to the next step in our recovery.
Yeah, everybody in Queens has shown how resilient they are, right? Queens was one of the hardest hit boroughs for COVID, and then with Hurricane Ida was another slam on our community, and they're still here. They're functioning. They're successful. And how do we help bring more students back to campus? Currently, we have about 2,000 students a day on our campus, but our goal is to get back to 11,000 for the spring semester and make it seem more "quote unquote" normal.
Parking will be tough, but
yes,
I think that'll be a great problem that
Absolutely.
everybody's looking forward to again.
We're desperately looking forward to having students back on campus.
Dr. Christine Mangino, thank you for stopping by up here in the booth during the game. Enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Christine Mangino, president of Queensborough Community College, here early second half with her Queensborough Tigers and number 2 seeded Bronx Community College scoreless. Early great scoring chance for Queensborough, coming from Romaine Forrester. And the Tigers able to switch this ball to the very top. And getting out wide, Michael Chimbolena. And Chimbolena's service across. Nice ball. He does not test Jafar Hadera. So the first 2 shots of the second half belonging to the Tigers. As I welcome back in Carrie Gluck for the remainder of this one. Well, Carrie, if you're Queensborough, certainly I think Aziwo Ayafor talked to his team about their slow start because it's showing out on the field, and we'll see if that might have been wind dated or not, but his team certainly came out with a different level of energy.
Well, I would think that that was a big part of the halftime talk. I think there was a lack of it. They were on their heels, sitting back and allowing Bronx to be able to control the tempo of the game. Now the question is that the fact that the Bronx was not able to capitalize with the wind at their back, they were not to be able to find the back of the net. They weren't able to really secure a goal in that first half. Will that open the door for Queensborough in this half now that they have the wind at their back?
Sumba, as he lays it off, and the return pass, break up by Famara Diawara. Co-captain came to the U.S. after high school, and one of the many stories, as I just chatted with Bronx Community College President Dr. Thomas Sekenegbe, about those challenges and to morph all different kinds of playing styles and backgrounds on the field. A hard step, and the foul will be against Ahmed Owusu of the Bronx. Quick restart, Chimbolema. Went to the top of the box, Sumba knocks it down, Forrester, nice backdoor run, and then kind of stopping his run, Juan Flores. Great idea from Romaine Forrester.
Well, I really think Forrester was looking to take a shot there, Ralph. I think it ended up being an opportunity for the backdoor run. But as you're taking a look at Romaine Forrester holding on to his knee, wondering whether or not he took a shot in the knee as he was shooting that, and which is what may have caused that ball to really appear to be more of a backdoor pass.
Yeah, remember his shot early second half, and he came up after the shot was saved by Hadera. Came up clutching his right knee. We'll see if that plays a factor. Sumba away from the pressure of Fadiga. Sumba to feet of Pavana, and he is taken off the ball in the foul. Well, Famara Diawara, an aggressive player as we watched him in this match tonight. He ran through the attacking player, and here is by far the best restart for Queensborough.
And the greatest or the best opportunity at this point in the match for Queensborough. I also think they showed some very good combination play in the last sequence leading up to the foul. And the foul now gives them an opportunity, wind at their back. It's a three-man wall being set up by the Bronx. Whether or not they're going to look to take it right on Cage, Pavana over the ball. Now they add the fourth man in. I guess you saw Hadera not liking the fact that there are three on the wall.
Pavana from Rosedale, New York, and Queens Newtown High School.
He is good on set pieces, Ralph. See if he can bend this over the wall.
And his strike buries it underneath the crossbar.
Well, we just said he was good on the set pieces.
John Pavana put it over the wall. No chance for Jafar Hadera. And Queensborough, with that renewed energy in the second half, they strike in the CUNY Community College final.
And that was a great shot. Watch it from here. Look at the little bend on the ball. I wonder whether or not Hadera played that or misplayed that ball. It wasn't a terribly difficult shot to parry over the net, but I think he may have just misjudged it, or perhaps the wind may have carried it a little bit harder and faster than he thought. But give credit to Pavana. That is his forte. That is what he is there for. Dead ball restarts, he creates them, and he takes advantage of those restarts, and we get the lead for the first time after, I think, the first shot on goal for Queensborough in the match.
And remember the foul by Famara Diawara. He did not need to do that in a spot there, 28 yards out. So the Bronx, despite outplaying Queensborough most of the night, finds themselves trailing in this community college final as a chance for a counter and numbers ahead for the Tigers.
Well, now I think you're going to see, Ralph, I think you're going to see that Queensborough is going to pick up the pace a little bit. The adrenaline is now flowing. The confidence is there. And so you're going to see them look to become a little bit more aggressive going to goal.
We'll get a substitution for Queensborough. Here's freshman forward Sebastian Sanchez. He replaces Romaine Forrester, who comes off the field very gingerly. So now the Tigers with the lead, so Coach Ozzy Ayafor is going to sub out his top striker here, and clearly the injury playing a factor. And now with the lead, perhaps he can rest Forrester as this is a shot coming, and this is wide of target from Junior Guaman.
You're seeing now Queensborough getting some of the shots that we did not see in the first half. And I will contend that there definitely was some words said by the coach Iafora at halftime, but I also believe that the wind has become an advantage to Queensborough that they did not have in the first half. Right here. Nice shot. Oh, I thought he should have taken that shot.
Instead, the layoff comes from Chimbolema. Nice layoff from Dennis Sumba. And it's wide of target, and the Tigers building off of the momentum following the goal, looking for a second.
Playing with a renewed energy, Ralph, and that was a very nice layoff by Sumba. And there you see the layoff once again, looking to go to the far side netting. Good shot placement, too, by Queens College. That's where you want to place the ball, on that angle, at the back post side netting.
Mohamed Fadiga. Mendoza looked to return the ball through, instead taken over by Rashid Sheriff.
A little miscommunication there. I think Mendoza thought that the run was going to continue. He laid it off for him, but on the other side, I thought Mendoza should have taken the shot.
Junior Guaman.
I had a soccer game the other day, and the power went out on us.
And Guaman. Nice patience. Ball here, Mike Chacho, the right back. Service in, he hits the crossbar. Loose ball is still inside the 18 before a partial clearance. Well, Javar Hadera perhaps kind of lost where he was in his 6, and that ball dangerously allowed to float over and hitting the crossbar flush.
It was definitely a dangerous ball. I thought Hadera should again have been in position to be able to play that ball, but I think again the wind might have taken that ball over his head and beyond where Hadera was positioning himself. I think he has got to adjust to the wind in this second half.
The Bronx will get a corner on the other end. Head ball for Queensborough. The goal in the 52nd minute from John Pavana. Queensborough with 10-time finalists, 8 CUNY titles. They last won it under Aziwo Ayafor in 2018, defeating BMCC. They had a run of 3 in a row and 4 out of 5 from 2011 through 2015. Sumba. Ball is on for Flores. And reading the play well was Baba Ann.
The pace of the ball was not at the pace that it should have been to make the connection on the pass.
Flores lays down the clearance. Chimbolema.
I like that layoff with a little bit of the outside of the right foot as he was looking for his runner to run through.
It'll be a corner for Queensborough. So Michael Chimbolema from Flushing will have service. And Chimbolema driving it. It's off of Ann. And the second volley, it deflects and it goes in goal. It goes off of a Bronx player, Mohamed Fadiga. That'll be an own goal scored. Queensborough has netted 2 here in the first 14 minutes of the second.
Well, when you take your shots, good things happen, and that's what happened there. The deflection created an own goal, and that's unfortunate for the Bronx team. As you see it deflecting off, it might have even come off of Baba Ann. I'm not quite sure. Number 7, that's who it was that was able to get his foot on the ball. Fadiga unfortunately not in the direction that he would have liked to have gone. Now that creates a little bit of a much bigger hole for the Bronx now with the wind in their face and the renewed energy for Queensborough. I think this will require the Bronx to come out of the 5-3-2. I would think that now that they need to get a minimum of 2 goals and 3 to win it, they're going to have to throw another person up top and either play the 3-4-3 or get into a 4-4-2.
Tigers goal scored in 15th minute play by number 4, Kevin Velez.
It was Kevin Velez taking the shot that should be scored, an own goal off of Mohamed Fadiga. And a tough break for the Broncos.
Now, we talked about how the wind early in this match, we talked about how the impact of the wind would be on this match, and I think we have now seen the results of that situation.
Have another look at it. Here's the shot by Velez, and that's off the foot of Fadiga.
Yep, the left foot of Fadiga pushed that ball in the net, and the shot in itself was not on frame. The shot itself would have gone wide had it not been redirected by Fadiga. Unfortunate.
Service coming, Sumba. And this one deflecting into the arms of Jafar Hadera. So the Broncos, despite their great start to the match, find themselves trailing 2-0. And the Bronx making a substitution as they brought on Papa Toure for Elder Rabinalis up top at the other forward position with Jordi Leon. And it is Queensborough. Nice ball laid ahead. It will drop in front, and Hadera has to come out and challenge Sumba.
And that was a nice move by Hadera, coming off his line aggressively, showing courage with Hadera running in on him.
Owusu looked for a switch. Here comes Junior Guaman. Chimbolema looked to return it. Chimbolema, good extra little pass. And this one is floated, and that ball took a turn, but Jafar Hadera handles. Hadera, a 4-0 student athlete that hopes to play somewhere at the next level, the 4-year level. He'll be graduating December, and he'll have some interest programs such as Baruch at the 4-year CUNY level. And that's what this is about, the community college. You play 2 years, you get your associates, and you have a chance, if you're a late bloomer or difficult or different life circumstances, to still have a chance to get yourself out there. Ball through for Sumba, nearly misplayed by Papa Toure before it'll come back to Hadera.
The close corner. Yeah. Yeah. The only one I can get to.
We get another Queensborough substitution. The Tigers bring in Bill Roland Indicum of Springfield Gardens. They'll use him as a wide forward. Owusu to Leon. Owusu looked to return to him. And through that 15-minute start to this match, Gary, we saw Jordi Leon get consistently down the right flank. We have not seen that at all since Queensborough was able to level out this match. And Leon with his services, some weren't taken well, but he was a consistent threat down the flank. We have not seen that in a long time.
Well, I think the Bronx attacked the left side of the Queensborough defense consistently and was able to get services across the box with Leon. And as you said, that has not developed until right here.
Sanchez tried to go all the way across the field. Mendoza. Kevin Mendoza. Opportunity was blocked. Neck opportunity from Owusu also blocked. And driven deeper by the Bronx and Johan Barajas. And the offside flag is up.
Now, there were two chances there for Bronx to perhaps be able to take some shot on frame and challenge Medrano in this second half. And I thought Mendoza might have been able to take one of those shots. I think he had an excellent first half, did Kevin Mendoza. And I would like to see, if I am Coach Sinelli, I would like to see Mendoza get some more touches on the ball and get into the attacking mode.
Goals in the 52nd minute and the 58th. And Queensborough seeking another championship before it appears both teams will go into the Region 15 tournament, with play coming up on Saturday, October 23rd. Guaman taking off possession. Fadiga. And he looked to play Jordi Leon ahead. And remember the save made in the 7th minute by Michael Medrano. You got the sense, Carey, we knew it, that making the save on a penalty that early in the match could be critical, and it sure holds up that way.
That was key. You can't emphasize the importance of making that save early and what it does to the momentum of the Bronx not making that PK and what it does for Queensborough.
Now here on a quick 1-2, the save made by Hedera. So Queensborough with Sebastian Sanchez getting the ball played back to him. Sanchez seeking his first of the season, a freshman from Corona and Language Studies High School.
And there you see again the shot. And I always tell my players, when you take shots, good things happen. Deflections maybe score goals. Deflections give you corner kicks. The deflection goes to another person, another teammate. Nothing can go bad with taking a shot. And you challenge the goalkeeper.
And Dennis Sumba, another nice layoff. Sumba has played a fine match. Here's Sebastian Sanchez. And does not have a runner. Leon will clear it to the sideline. An example of how these rosters have changed over the course of the month of September. Sanchez only joined the team for the 5th game of the season, so he is just now getting his legs underneath him as the Tigers play their 10th match. Velez enters in for Sumba.
Oh, they're going to call the handball unintentional, but a handball, and again in another dangerous position for Queensborough to take advantage, and we'll see if Pavana goes over to take this dead ball restart. Yep, it does look like it will be John Pavana. Look at that back post.
Hedera calling out instructions, 3 on the wall for the Broncos. Pavana, service, back post, it's in! Fantastic Pavana, this time brilliant service leading to the goal. Junior Guaman on the receiving end. It is all Tigers tonight.
Well, this second half is certainly all Tigers, without a doubt. A nice service by Pavana again, involved in the goal, and he finds his teammate Junior Guaman, who had 5 goals on the season. There it is on your replay. Back post run. Look at him in your picture. Not well challenged by the defense. They find Guaman right off the back post, and he finds the back of the net. Guaman getting his 6th goal of the season with 5 assists. He is the number 2 scorer on the team. He is good with the ball, but certainly finds the finish.
For Junior Guaman out of Queens Tech, native of Corona. Tonight, I think a little bit more special for him, as there's another foul committed by the Bronx. But for Junior Guaman, he has played right here at Met Oval Academy through his youth. A lot of training sessions. And the feel of this turf, it is certainly not a road game for Junior Guaman. He puts the ball away. And John Pavana with a goal and an assist in this second half. This one coming in the 66th minute. 3 goals in 14 minutes for Queensborough. And as they look for another on this long restart from Juan Flores as it sails over the bar.
Now Flores wants to get in on the scoring as well. And again, I think at this point, there is a lot of momentum riding on Queensborough's shoulders right now, and it's going to be tough to change the momentum for the Bronx.
As Mendoza trying to play the ball out wide for Christopher Lamash, a freshman who's come in to play wide midfield. Sumba to the feet of Sebastian Sanchez. Lamash as he looks to get through to midfield. An explosion from the Tigers, who have come in scoring 31 goals this year. Their defensive unit had been their strength. Aziwo Ayafor felt that they had to focus so much time on the defense because they didn't really have a lot of experienced defensive players. So the majority of their limited practice time was simply on defensive system, and eventually hoping creativity of all the natural attacking players they had would come up. And that did eventually happen. Diawara and plays out wide to feet for Josué Sanchez. And will bring it down for Owusu. On another loose ball, Sebastian Sanchez.
There's a nice diagonal run with a through ball played to Sanchez.
Ahmed Owusu canceling that. In the first meeting, September 29th, there was a 2-0 Bronx Broncos lead at the half before Queensborough strung together 4 goals, taking advantage of perhaps a tired Bronx team. And Dan Sinelli felt, look, we played a very strong first 45 minutes. He had confidence going into this one. And they were missing Kevin Mendoza in that game, Carey, and Famara Diawara, who's played holding mid and right back. They did have Aguilar in that game, the center back, so he is out today, but still a net positive in terms of returning starters. And the Broncos sure looked like they might be able to put that increased personnel in attendance to good use in the first 15 minutes. They did not score.
And I think that was key. They did not put the ball in the back of the net in the first half with the wind at their back. And then it became an uphill battle for them in the second half to have to defend against the wind at their back. And they have not been a strong second half team, Ralph. They've given up going into this game. They've given up 16 goals in the second half. Now we had these 3, so that's 19 goals in the second half alone.
Bill Rowland Indicum finds a nice pocket. Sanchez stepped into by Diawara. And the whistle and the foul against Queensborough. The Tigers coming into this match having won their last 2 by lopsided scores. 8-1 on Friday against Kingsborough. 5-0 against Orange Community College up in Middletown. As this ball rolls in on Michael Medrano.
Under no pressure, easy roll for Medrano to pick it up under no pressure.
And Carey, remember when the shots were 7-0 Bronx? Well, the shots right now are 15-14 Queensborough. Just a remarkable change in a matter of 20 minutes tonight, as here's Leon's shot. It deflects, and Medrano has it again. And the Broncos just appear to be a little stunned.
Well, when I thought that Queensborough was sitting on their heels and letting Bronx take the play to them in the first half, it has been just quite the contrary in the second half, where the Bronx is sitting back and Queensborough is attacking.
Flores plays nicely to feet. Taken over by Toure. For the Bronx. And Ann has not been able to get forward at all. There he is, 12 in yellow. Now out wide, and that is Lamash as he just plays it forward. Medrano handles the little deflection. Great distribution for Bill Rowland Indicum. And the foul will come against Owusu.
And that should be a card. That was clearly a delay of game, as Queensborough was intending to put the ball in play, and the Bronx player kicked it away.
So Mike Chacho restart. It's been an adventure shooting the ball in this direction. That's passed ahead of Papa Toure. Kevin Velez. And there's no touch. It'll be a goal kick. So the second goal that sure looked like an own goal has been, for right now, credited to Kevin Velez. His second of the season. And a look at the recent past champions. No BMCC, the traditional power. And they did not qualify for this year's championship. So Queensborough gunning for another. It would be their 9th in program history. The Bronx, it's been a long time, 2003. They last won their title. That came via penalty kicks against BMCC. So the last time they won a game outright was 0-2. The Broncos have 6 championships. Fadiga. Leon. And then Leo shoved down, and that's not a good foul by Luis Angel Ovando of Queensborough. So an important restart for the Bronx Broncos. This will be at a pretty good spot, about a little under 35 yards out.
And Baba Ann will certainly be the one to go for it. And clearly the correct call. I mean, I don't believe there was any issue at all on that foul. It was an obvious foul by Luis Angel Ovando. Now we'll see what Baba Ann is able to do with this right-footed strike.
And it was too low. Second ball in. So he did not challenge the wall enough and not taken well. Sebastian Sanchez. Clearance further up the field. Hadera the pickup.
Quickly getting it out to the flank. And that's where they've got to get the ball to be able to attack with any kind of success. You see a lot of white jerseys in the middle of the field with the 5 midfielders and 3 central.
There's a good look, and taking it across goal was Christopher Lamash. He did not have a runner to the back post.
What I was saying, Ralph, with Queensborough making the middle a little bit more congested with their 3 central midfielders, I think the Bronx can have a little bit more success if they look to get it to the flank and create the 1-on-1 or the 2v1 out on the outside.
'76th minute, 77th minute now. 3 goals in a 14-minute span for Queensborough is the difference. And Queensborough able to do this largely without Romaine Forrester having a substantial impact on the match. He had that great early chance. Actually, it was late in the first, maybe 10 minutes left in the first half. Otherwise, we didn't hear from Romaine Forrester. Then he got a great look early second where he appeared to bang his knee. Eventually would leave shortly after when the game was just 1-0. And we have not seen Romaine Forrester since.
Well, at this point, I would suspect that we will not see him for the remainder of the match. No point putting him back in and risking a further injury to your leading scorer when you're up comfortably 3-0 with, under 13 minutes remaining.
Lamash. And Lamash in a collision. Who's the foul going to be on? It'll be against Christopher Lamash, trying to draw the call. So played quickly by Queensborough. And the possession carry from Kevin Mendoza, who was such a factor in attack mode for those first 15 minutes. He was the one that drew the penalty that Baba Ann eventually had his opportunity stopped by Michael Medrano. The amount of possession time for Kevin Mendoza has not nearly been anywhere close to where it was, even in the match's first 10 minutes.
They have not found him in this second half at all. Whether or not he is checking to the ball, he's showing himself, he's getting into the passing lanes. I don't think he is, and that has been a problem because he is the engine that runs the offense. He is the quarterback of that offense for the Bronx.
There is Mendoza. He looked across Owusu. Then Owusu shooting from the outside. He had a little bit of a window, but he does not get it on frame.
Well, he was trying to take that shot with the little bit of the outside of the right foot as opposed to taking it with the left foot. If he takes it with the left foot, he can pull it to that back post, and I think he might find some open netting. But the outside of the right foot, that was a very difficult shot.
Queensborough is a program, as they'll go into the Region 15 tournament, have never played in the finals. Out of the CUNY schools that have played men's soccer, there were 5 of them. Hostos does not have a team anymore, so that's why there are just 4. These 2 programs you watch in front of you, and then BMCC and Kingsborough have had teams. Queensborough has had such a great history with 10 players having been named All-American, but never broke through into Region 15. And this area long dominated by programs such as Nassau and Suffolk community colleges. This Queensborough team, you could see that because the city schools got off to such a late start compared to everybody else in the area, it's just, even though it's a matter of maybe 20, 30 miles, what a difference it is from the calendar of things, let's say between Nassau and Suffolk community colleges. They have their teams together in August compared to the city schools. I wonder how that might factor in when now a team like Queensborough is finally perhaps at a much closer level of play compared to those 2 traditional powers.
Well, you know, that 1 month of preparation really amounts to a tremendous advantage for both Nassau and Suffolk. And keeping in mind the score that Queensborough lost to both Nassau and Suffolk by 4-1 and 4-0, Nassau beating Queensborough. And again with the Bronx, their opening game, losing to Suffolk by 9-0 when Suffolk had been practicing for a month. And that was the first game with almost only a week of practice. So, and Nassau losing 6-0. So you see the advantage that 1 month brings to the table for those schools on the island as opposed to the CUNY schools.
Nice ball chipped, and Hedera sees it well. Juan Flores looked to play in Sebastian Sanchez.
And Hedera handled that very nicely amidst some pressure.
Mendoza got the touch back, and he'll run out of room. Goal kick coming for the Queensborough Tigers, as Aziwo Ayafor will make another substitution. As here is sophomore Rafael Navia. He is the lone player that played in 2019. Everybody else has graduated or moved on to the next chapter of their lives. He's the lone sophomore on the roster. Played in 5 games in 2019. And that's, I guess, the other area, Carrie, that I bet you the Nassau and Suffolk teams, Orange Community College, had more returners from 2019 rather than having a fresh squad with everybody brand new. As Dan Sinelli said, you know, we went through the first couple games, not everybody knew each other's name. Hard to win that way.
Absolutely. And I think your point is very well taken. Having return players creates a different environment as opposed to when you have all new players. And that was part of the hardship. That was part of that long road that we spoke about in the open and that you brought out for these coaches to be able to not just only get their team on the field and get the number of players, but get players who know the system. And when you have returning players, that's an advantage over having all new players and fresh players.
Another corner here for Queensborough. Aziwo Ayafor of Queensborough said he probably spoke to 50 different players through the month of August, recruiting and getting this roster together. Hadera able to parry it out. After Mike Chacho, ball back at his feet, had the service. Then back across, and Chacho nearly had a fine assist. Bill Roland Indicum was in position for a tap-in.
That was an excellent service across the box. Indicum very close to being able to get a foot on that ball. Watch the service. Here it is on the ground. Look at Indicum right center in the cage, trying to use his right foot. I think perhaps the left foot would have been more effective, but he was in great position, and it was an excellent service.
Meanwhile, after the play, Romaine Forrester checking back in for Queensborough after all. And perhaps he can be a part of the pending celebration for the Tigers. We had no score at the half. The Bronx Broncos with the game's first 7 shots. And then they had 15 of the next 22 shots.
Now, this is the last thing that you want to do if you are Bronx community. You don't want to commit fouls. Fouls create dead balls. Dead balls take up time, and time is of the essence if you are the Bronx. And if you are Queensborough, you want to milk that clock. You want to take as much time as you can on every dead ball, every throw-in, every opportunity you can to let the clock run.
As this ball again struck across the goal, did not challenge Medrano. And we'll get another Queensborough substitution.
Number 5, Brian Jalico, replaces number 4.
They're in the lead, so the clock will pause under 5 minutes whenever the winning team makes a substitution.
Number 15 will replace number 3, Bill Roland.
So Coach Ozzy Ayafor getting in his last substitution probably before that 5-minute time spell comes into play. And it appears, I think, safe to say that at this point, Queensborough will maintain its dominance over the Bronx, being that they've won a lot of recent matches between the two teams. 9, I believe, won by Queensborough.
A midfield restart for the Broncos. Trying to get one here at the end. Baba Ann. Chance to strike to goal. He does. And the players have just not made the adjustment tonight to the wind. We should note, of course, we're comfortable here, but game temperatures with the wind chill feel like we're in the high 50s. And the swirling wind here in Maspeth. It's the first night where it's felt truly like fall.
Well, you see spectators with hoods up and bundled up. So yes, it definitely is it is what many people suspect is good soccer weather to be playing in this 50-degree temperature. But the wind has created some havoc and a little bit of an impact.
Did they blow the whistle like it's over? Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
they definitely blew the whistle.
Official time is being kept by our referee. So he was ahead of us. It's called Queensborough shuts out the Bronx Broncos 3-0. The Tigers capture another title, their 9th in CUNY Community College history. 5 times in the last 8 years. They are a frequent visitor to this match. 9 times in the last decade. Queensborough's been here. They win another championship, and they have great momentum with them into the Region 15 tournament. Moving their record to 6-4. These two teams could meet again later in the Region 15 tournament. But Queensborough, with 3 goals in a 14-minute stretch in the second half, win the CUNY Community College Championship. We're coming back with the trophy presentation and some reaction. 3-0 tonight, Queensborough over the Bronx on Facebook Live.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
The 2021-22 CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Healthfirst. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Healthfirst, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
$3-0 tonight. The Queensborough Tigers capturing the program's 9th Community College Championship in the CUNYs. They defeat the Bronx Broncos. John Pavana, the MVP, and he is standing by now with Carrie Gluck.
John, a good win for Queensborough. You were 0-0 at the half. You were dominated by the Bronx in the first half on shots, on possession. What did Coach say at the halftime? Because it looked like a different Queensborough team in the second half.
That we have to wake up. We have to keep on continuing playing. We were cold at the beginning. He told us once we get warmed up, we start our rhythm, play our match, and there we go. Scored 3 goals.
Well, you certainly got you back into your rhythm on the set dead ball restart that you put in the back of the net. What did you see there?
I saw the goal. And then when we scored, I tied my shoe, set the ball where I wanted it, and I placed it where I wanted to go. Luckily, it went through the goalie, and it was a goal.
Did the wall give you an opening for you to see that netting?
No, I just wanted to go over the wall and in.
The service on your assist, getting the 3rd goal, that was an excellent service. How did that develop? Take us through that one.
Practice that a lot in practice. Always go for the back post. Thankfully, he was there. I saw him, and I crossed it in. He scored a goal.
Great vision on your part, great finish, and a great win for Queensborough. Congratulations. Good luck in the Region 15 tournament upcoming this weekend. And we'll take it back to Ralph. Ralph?
Great thoughts from John Pavana. A goal and an assist tonight. Queensborough, perhaps using the wind at their backs, but maybe even more significantly, as John Pavano described it, they just kind of shook off a tough 10, 15 tough minutes to begin the game after the Bronx Broncos had all the possession and the game's first 7 shots, and yet Queensborough finds themselves CUNY Community College champions. We'll be back with more, including the awards presentation on the way from the Met Oval.
Hometown ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
The 2021-22 CUNYAC Championships are brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Healthfirst. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Healthfirst, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
And that's really it. 3-0 Queensborough, as we're about to have the trophy presentation to the Tigers, who will break a scoreless tie at the half, getting a goal in the 52nd minute. They go on to score 3 times over a 14-minute span. They take advantage of a break on a Kevin Velez shot that could have been an own goal. And then Junior Guaman from John Pavan on a pretty restart in the 66th minute. 2 goals off of dead balls for Queensborough, and then a break. But the Tigers certainly created their breaks as we join the celebration and the runner-up medals and trophy about to be presented to the Bronx Broncos.
Number 15, Akeem Millwood. Number 16, Josue Sanchez. Number 17, Christopher Lamash. Number 19, Ahmed Owusu. Number 20, Jalen Bonifacio. Number 99, Melvin Valerio. Number 25, Jafar Hidara. Dan Kelly. Robin Cotton and Mark Anthony Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bronx Community College Broncos.
All right, there are the Broncos receiving their medals for finalists. Quick look at the final numbers carried. Again, it started 7-0 in shots for the Bronx about 10 minutes into the match before things radically changed.
But the key is look at the shots on goal. Of those 7 shots early on, there was 0 on frame, and that is part of the problem that the Bronx have had over the course of this season. Finishing their shots, the opportunities, and taking quality shots and putting them on frame.
And the Broncos still end up out-shooting the Tigers tonight. But for Dan Sinelli's team, they'll have a chance to play in the Region 15 tournament and take the lessons from tonight's game with them and just how precious each minute of every game is. Again, the Broncos in the 7th minute putting up their leading scorer, Baba Ann, to the penalty spot. And his strike was saved by Michael Medrano, which could have changed everything. And the Broncos could have played this match with a lead tonight, but that's soccer. And Famara Diawara, captain of the Bronx, along with head coach Dan Sinelli, take the runner-up trophy in the CUNY Community College men's soccer final.
Number 5, Brian Shalko.
Tell him to hold off for a minute.
And now the champion Queensborough Tigers will all get their medals before they'll raise the trophy for the second time under coach Aziwo Ayafor. Captain Michael Medrano is the lone keeper. He certainly deserves it. After that 7th-minute save, perhaps that allowed the Tigers as a whole to exhale and realize, okay, we're still very much in this match.
Well, that was a critical save and at a critical time early on. If Bronx scores that, they get momentum, and now they have the wind at their back, and they're feeling really good about themselves. That save could have saved the game, which I believe it did as an end result.
6 saves tonight for the freshman Michael Medrano out of Queens High School of Teaching, and he was one of the last cuts in the fall of 2019. They took 3 goalies in the fall of 2019. He was the 4th guy, and he had to wait a long time, almost 3 years later, to get a chance to step on the field for Queensborough. I'm sure he is savoring that trophy maybe more than any other Tiger tonight. So we'll go through the medal ceremony for the rest of the Queensborough players, and then they'll all get to present the trophy to head coach Aziwo Ayafor.
Mark. So you can talk to them.
Number 4, Kevin Velez. Rashid Barman. Number 7, Ron Flores.
The tournament MVP, John Pavana, coming up in a moment.
Number 8, Dennis Sumba.
And a match from Dennis Sumba tonight, creating a lot of offense, too, for the Tigers. He didn't get himself into the scoring column, but his activity tonight was notable.
Number 10, John Pavana. Number 0, Mike Smith. The coaching staff, ladies and gentlemen. The head coach, Ezra Ayafor. And the assistant coach, Mamadou Salani. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queensborough Community College Tigers.
Aziwo Ayafor clinging to that trophy. How about the Tigers carrying to the Region 15 tournament? Off of this, what do you think Aziwo Ayafor feels good about into their next game?
Well, I think he's got to feel very positive. I think they took a lot away from this game in terms of their stick-to-itiveness, their diligence in trying to fight through that first half. That was not their best half, I am sure, and they came away with a 0-0 halftime score. So I think that his team showed a lot of fortitude. I think they showed a lot of resilience. And I think all these positive steps that they will take into the next game, which I believe will be Saturday in the quarterfinals, will come back to really help them in momentum.
A couple more championship trophy shots before we say goodnight.
Slide down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to tonight's most valuable player.
We'll do the MVP.
This student athlete scored the first goal of the match in the 53rd minute of
And, of course, in the bigger scheme, what a joy it was for all these student athletes once it was determined in June that there would be community college athletics taking place in the 5 boroughs. The CUNYs hit as hard as anybody. There were no partial seasons, even in 2021. And tonight represented at least the first step back towards normalcy in the city. As John Pavana just found out, he is determined MVP. We knew. It was obvious. But John Pavana appeared to be shocked by it. Congratulations to John Pavana, freshman at a Newtown High School in Rosedale.
And that is a well-earned award for John Pavana. He was instrumental in opening up this game with that dead ball restart goal and the assist on the 3rd goal. Excellent award and well-earned, and congratulations to John Pavana.
And congratulations to Queensborough. They have their 9th CUNY Community College Championship. 3-0 tonight is the final. All 3 goals coming in a 14-minute span in the second half. For our entire crew tonight, from very windy and even chilly Met Oval in Maspeth, New York. For our director tonight, Dan Lippenholtz, our executive producer, Mark Fratto. For my partner, Carrie Glock, it's been a pleasure. My name is Ralph Bjorchik saying so long and good night. And thank you for watching the 2021 CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship match with the Queensborough Tigers victorious again.